like I said, this call is being recorded, so you'll be able to use this as a reference in the future. And also, if you have any questions about anything during this call, please let me know. Feel free to interrupt me and ask your question. If there's anything that you want me to spend more time on, please let me know. I'm going to bounce through the admin features. There are a lot, so I certainly don't expect you to absorb everything we discuss in the call. My role here at Martech is the learning administrator, and I manage all the clients in the learning management system. So feel free to call me or email me in the future if you have any questions about how to do something in the system. So so this is the login page. The login page is going to be the same for all users in the system, regardless of whether or not you're a learner or an administrator. And the email address will be the primary user identification for logging into the system. And there is a default password that we have, and that should be communicated to your users whenever they're starting training in the system. And I have sent out a document that has basic information for users that are logging into the system for the first time. The forgot password link is going to allow users to retrieve their password. And if they click on the link, it will open up a dialog where they have to enter their email address, click submit, and they'll receive an email with a link that will allow them to reset their password. And I get the contact us at Martech Media emails. So if I receive an email from one of your users, I will probably respond to the user and copy someone on your team. Okay. It's going to log into the system. And right now we're looking at My View. My View is Martech Media. And whenever you log in, you should see Blue Earth in the top left corner. And the coloring might be a little bit different, but basically the layout and the structure is going to be the same. We're going to have the navigation across the top, and the navigation is going to indicate what type of user is in the system. For example, an administrator is going to have options such as reports, content, admin, and my team. A regular user will only have home, my learning, help, instructor-led events, and performance. So in order to have the admin options in your navigation, you do have to be set up as an admin in the system. In terms of the layout of the page, the Your Transcript layout, or the Your Transcript widget in the top right corner of the page, is going to list the 10 most recently assigned courses. And if there are any certifications that are assigned to a user, they'll appear in the certifications widget, not in the Your Transcript widget. We do have a search option. There's a couple of ways for users to search for training in the system if it has not been assigned. Your Transcript is only going to show training that has been assigned, either where a user has registered themselves into a training or where you have assigned training to a user. That will appear under Your Transcript. For a user to search for training, they can use the search field, and it's going to auto-populate based upon the information that you enter. So, for example, if I enter 101, all the courses that have 101 in the title are going to appear. If I search for safety, then all the courses with safety in their title will appear. The other way users can find training is through My Learning and Browse for Training. Browse for Training is just going to allow a user to browse the catalog that is available to them. So whenever we enter training in the system, we set the availability for that training. And availability just specifies that a user can search for that particular training. And This is organized by the grouping of training. And so if a user wanted to take this course, for example, they would just click the name, click launch, and it would launch the training. And it would also register for that training, register them for that training if they were not already registered.
Do they have to complete, or can it, if they're just busy, it will just save whatever it is and they can go back to it?
Correct. They do not have to complete the training. All they're doing is just registering themselves into the training. And if a user is in the middle of training and they decide that I don't have the time to finish this training, they can close the training, and then whenever they reopen the training again, it will open on the last page that was viewed.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And just to cover some basic information about our course player. The course player has the navigation in the top left. And we do, like I said, we have bookmarking. So the course is going to remember what pages have been viewed. If there's a check mark next to a page, that means that page has been viewed by the user. And the user can click around on any page within the course. There are test your knowledge questions in the course, and they do not count towards a grade or the final exam grade. The final exam, once a user starts, they have to finish. So we do have automatic responses as to whether or not the user has gotten a question correct or incorrect. And I should get at least one of these correct. This also shows the number of questions in the exam. And it also has a percentage bar, percentage complete at the bottom. And it will give the score. It would also show the passing score, and the user has the option to retake the test. To complete the course again, they would have to close the course and then reopen it. But there are a few different statuses that are going to show up on a user's transcript. Let me go back to the home page for a second. So your transcript, this is the Your Transcript widget. And if you click on your transcript, it'll take you to your transcript page. You can also reach your transcript by going to My Learning and view your transcript. And this is going to list all the training that has been assigned to the user and all the training that has been completed by the user. And this is my transcript. And you'll notice in a minute, whenever we get to other users' transcripts, it's going to have basically the same layout. The only difference is when you're viewing another user's transcript, you're not going to see a launch button. But to view the training details, you can click either the title of the course or you can click View Training Details. And this will display the training details for this course. And so I'll go to one of our courses, so it'll show a score. This shows that I'm registered. And being registered, I have not spent any time in the course. I have not opened the course, and I have not achieved a score in the course. Registered means that the course has not been open. If I open this course, or if I launch the course, it's going to change my progress or my status to in progress. In progress means that you have started the course, but you have not completed the course. And once you receive a passing score, then you will move into a completed status. And once you move into a completed status, the training will be moved to your completed transcript. And whenever you're viewing other users' transcripts, you will see that this functions in the same way. So if you want to view training that a user has completed, a specific user has completed, then you can go to the completed tab of the transcript. And if you click on the details, you can see that this user, which is myself, last accessed this course on 6/28/19, and I viewed it once. I've spent a total of 9 minutes in the course, and I have a completed score of 95%. And there's additional information at the bottom. So the assignment and version history is going to specify how the user received that training. This is showing that I registered myself into that training. If the user had been assigned that training using the learning assignment tool, then it's going to say that, and it's also going to give the assignment ID. So you would be able to go to the learning assignment tool, which I'll get to in a few minutes, and you can look at the assignment and see what other courses were in the assignment and what other users were in the assignment. So we have any questions about the transcript?
Well, just you've got about 10 or 11 lessons there. So if I go into my transcripts, yeah?
Yes.
Right. Does that auto-populate more, did you say, or what happens once
this has, my active transcript has 399 lessons, and this is going to paginate to allow me to go to other pages. It's going to show 25 lessons per page.
Right. Okay.
And on the completed transcript, it shows that I have 51 courses completed. Now on the home page, this window does show only 10 lessons. It shows the most recently assigned 10 lessons.
Right.
Did I answer your question?
Well, no. How does it assign? Sorry, maybe I've lost a bit. How does it assign you more? You can go.
Sure, I'll go to the. I'll cover the learning assignment tool right after I cover the users.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a special tool for this for assigning training to the users. So actually, I want to cover building a curriculum before I get to the learning assignment tool as well. So in reference to user management, you would find the user page under admin and users. And whenever you get to this page, if you click search, it should list all of your users within your division, and the division being Blue Earth. If you have any, let me open up a document here and see if you have any other organizational units. Organizational units allow you to organize users in the system, and there are 3 main organizational units that are used. The first one being plant location, the second one being job title, and the third being department. And Blue Earth is taking advantage of this organization method. We do have plant location, so if we go to, for example, plant location, and I type in Blue Earth, you're going to see all of the different plant locations that we have entered into the system. So if I click on hydro and click search, it's going to list all of the hydro users. And I can search more than one plant location. You see this little arrow that has the box and the arrow on the top right. That means there's a selection that needs to be made. If I want solar as well, click search. And now it's listing the solar users and the hydro users. You can also search for last names. You don't have to enter the entire name. You can just enter initials if you want. So the options that we have for managing users on the user page are all on the far right. I'm going to have more options than you would probably have. You should have change password and view transcript. The change password link will allow you to change a user's password. The send forgot password email is going to send the same email that would be sent if a user had clicked the link on the login page. Define a temporary password is going to let you set a new password for that user. And that will be a temporary password, so whenever they log in, they'll have to set a permanent password, and you will have to communicate to them what that temporary password is. Passwords are not stored anywhere in the system, so there is no way to retrieve a password if a user loses their password or if they forget their password. We can also view a user's transcript by clicking on the View Transcript link. And no training has been assigned to this user, but if they had training assigned, then it would show up exactly like it did on my transcript, where you would have the active transcript and you would have the completed transcript. The only option being that you would not have a launch link on that user's transcript, since you would not be launching their training. So any question about user management?
I guess one question I kind of had there is I noticed, like on my screen at least, I don't have my team. I'm wondering, just because of the verbiage for Blue Earth, if it's something where my team is showing up under Mike, so we don't have the option to be able to assign some of this training.
Is that Justin?
Yep. I don't know, Ian or Kyla, I mean, are you seeing the my team link and having your text on there?
Do you have the admin user option?
Yep, let me double check. Yep, it shows admin there.
Well, specifically what my team is, it is a kind of a dumbed down administrator right. You have to be entered into the system as a manager, and there are very limited abilities that a manager could have within the system.
Okay.
So administrators are able to do a lot more than managers.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if I needed that my team link on here in order to do some of this.
No, it would just show you a list of your direct reports. So if I clicked on, actually it doesn't even do that. It'll show activity management. And it's very rarely used. So if you have I spoke a little bit about availability. If we have the system set up where a user can only request training, then we can also set it up where the manager would be able to approve training. And this is how you would manage the pending requests if you had any requests that were pending for training approvals. So, so if you're not entered into the system as a manager, and it only looks like Brian, Courtney, Chris, Mike, and Tracy Brayson are the only managers that are listed at Blue Earth.
Yeah, well, so, Kyla, Justin, myself, and Paul should be on this.
So we're listed as admins, that's what you're saying?
Right, you are listed as admins. So what you would do is if you go to, let's say, a specific plant location or There's also department area
Mm-hmm.
that we take advantage of in the system. So if I search for Blue Earth, it looks like the departments are going to be basically the same as the plant locations.
I think that works. I think we were just kind of had to get the hang on the different terminology and stuff like that. Because if I'm understanding it correctly, the admin is what we want to have because that gives us the ability to assign training.
Yes, the admin gives you the ability to administer the LMS as a whole.
Yep.
Managers only have access to direct reports, and there's very limited rights as to what they can do.
Okay.
Okay.
It almost sounds like that should have been inverted. Sorry, this is Chris, and I joined late, but it sounds to me maybe that should be flipped. The people you have as managers should probably be admins, and the people who are admins should probably be managers.
That's
right, guys?
Manager, yeah, manager just implies a level of hierarchy that where direct reports would report to a manager, and usually if a manager is going to be doing certain things within the system, we would rather figure out what their rights are going to be, since the manager role is very limited, and give them whatever rights they need, and which would essentially make them an administrator.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you think. It's just in this sense, like Mike Jablonski, for example, is Justin and Ian's boss. So I don't know if he should have more rights than them, perhaps.
Manager is not something that I would worry about too much. It's really, it's not going to affect the administrator rights. It's something that we can edit in the future. After this call, I can send a list to whomever, and we can change the manager settings. But in terms of this call, it really isn't. It's just more of an organizational issue.
Okay, yeah, it's no problem. Sounds good.
Okay. So any more questions about users? I do want to cover the catalog. And one thing I want to cover specifically in the catalog is curricula. And this is going to allow you to build a curriculum with specific training. So I'll click on curricula. And the way we build a curriculum is we click create a new curriculum. And I'm going to call this tool safety. And I'm going to start out with Blue Earth. The keywords or description are not required. Vendor,
sorry, where did you see this again, Bud? Sorry, man.
Oh, sure, no worries. If you go to Admin and Catalog.
Right, okay. Thanks.
And click on Curricula. Is there any training that's going to occur within the system that's going to renew, where a user is going to have to complete that training every year or 3 years?
Well, there's that possibility because, yeah, I'm sure there would be that.
Okay.
That's going to have to be recertified and done. It's always good to keep on doing that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Then I'll walk through creating the certification as well. Okay, so to create a curriculum, from the admin catalog page, we'll click curricula.
Yeah.
And create a new curriculum. I'll call this Blue Earth, Tool Safety. And the vendor, you want to select Martech Media Blue Earth Renewables. And subject, I'm going to pick safety. And right now I'm an owner of this curriculum. If there are any other users or administrators within the system that you would like to add as an owner within the system, you're more than welcome to add them. You can add as many as you like. curriculum player is going to change the way the curriculum is displayed to the user, and it will show a percentage complete for the overall curriculum. Availability is something I was speaking a little bit about earlier. This is going to determine who can search for this training within the learning management system. So it's not something that is required except for anyone that is going to assign this curriculum. So I at least want to select myself and any other administrators that are going to assign this curriculum. And if I do not select this, then I will not be able to search for it in the learning assignment tool.
Okay, this is a bit frustrating because I'm not seeing everything that you're seeing, even though I'm on it. So,
Okay.
yeah, this is a bit of a pain because I'm not learning. I'm just trying to absorb everything you're saying. So I went into the curriculum, manage curricula, and all I've got is curriculum title and training title. So I put in Blue Earth Safety, and then it just came up on training title, a bunch of different stuff. So online.
Let me view your screen, if you don't mind. Let me view your screen for a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to just click OK.
Click OK. What?
Do you see the link to share your screen?
No. Ah, yeah, sorry. Excuse me. On the other monitor. Yeah.
Okay, I see your emails.
Okay, well, it's... Right, hold on, I'll bring it over.
Okay.
See it now?
Yeah, I need to add some rights to you so you can create a curriculum. And I'll do that after the call.
Right.
Okay. So just bear with me, and I will post this training, and I'll go back over the permissions and make sure everyone has the required permissions. Okay, so I've set the availability of the curriculum, and this is going to allow me to search for the curriculum. If I want anyone to be able to search for this curriculum, so for example, if I want all users at Blue Earth to search for this curriculum, I can select Blue Earth Renewables, and then everyone at Blue Earth will be able to search for this. If I click the trash can, it will remove that right. I'm going to skip through emails and pricing, and this takes us to the structure. And the structure is where we're going to actually build the curriculum. And in this curriculum, I'm going to build two sections within the curriculum. I'm going to call this Basic Safety and I'm going to add another section. And these icons at the top will allow me to add a section. It'll allow me to add training. And those are pretty much going to be the only two icons that you'll probably use. We'll add another section called Tools. And if I click the Add Training icon on the Basic Safety bar, it's going to add training to that section. I'm going to add some safety courses. I'll just click the plus sign. Click Done, and I'll add some tools courses. And click Done. Okay, now I have these courses that are within my curriculum, and I have a 1 here and a 2. This is setting the sequencing for the curriculum. Right now, the way this is set, the user will have to complete all 3 of these courses before they can complete these 2. If I want a user to be able to complete any courses in any order, then I would need to have these all as 1. If I want to restrict the order, then I can add numbers to these, and this will restrict the order from 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 and 2. One thing that's very important is that you check all of the checkboxes. And what this is doing, it's automatically registering the user for training within this curriculum. So whenever you assign this training, the user will see launch icons or launch links next to their training. If you did not check these boxes, they would see a request link. So by checking these boxes, it's going to remove the requirement that they have to request the training. So if I save this, this curriculum will be added to my available catalog. I'm going to cancel out of this as I don't want to add this into the system. Before I do that, are there any questions about the setup? Okay. I want to cover a certification real quick. Certifications can be one of the more complicated items within the learning management system. So if you have any questions about this, we need to do another training call. I'd be more than happy to do that. So certifications are going to be found on the catalog page as well. So if I click catalog and certifications, it's going to allow me to create a certification. So if I click create a certification, again, I might have to go back and ensure that everyone has the right admin privileges. And I will do that after the call, and I will follow up just to confirm. So just as with a curriculum for a certification, we need to create a title. I'll call this tool safety as well. And for a family, I don't have Blue Earth currently. I'm going to go back and add this family. Okay, so now whenever you go to add a certification, Blue Earth will be available as an option. I'll click create a new certification, enter my title again. Select family, Blue Earth Renewables. Category, this is going to be a 1-year renewing certification, so I'm going to select 1-year renewing. There needs to be a training contact, so select yourself. And then for these options, I'm going to allow users to print a certificate and allow training items to recur, ignoring the recurrent setting on training level. And again, I know this is a lot, And if we need to have training in the future, then I'm more than happy to do that. For the certifications, we have to add a section. I'm going to call this section safety, as I did with the curriculum. And there are going to be 3 courses or 2 courses in here. I'm going to add another section called tools. And we'll say 3 courses are going to be in this. And then under the drop down, I'm going to click add training. So search for 101. And one thing you want to be cautious of is that you're adding courses that are not from another provider. For example, this provider is Martech Media Access Mechanical. You just want Martech Media when adding training to a certification. So click done. Add training to this next section. Search for tools. And by clicking the plus sign, this is adding to my course selection. And my courses that I've selected are at the bottom. If I want to delete a course, I can delete it here. If I click done, it'll add the training. And I'm going to specify a credit for each one of these courses. So I'll click a 1 in here. And I can also set the sequence within the certification. This is the same as with the curriculum. So I can set this to 2, I can set this to 2 and 3, and that will specify what order users are going to complete this training. The next is scheduling. For scheduling, we have 4 different options. One time only means that a user is going to take this certification once, and then they will become certified. A fixed date means that the certification is going to renew on the same time every year. For example, January 1st or April 15th. A relative means that a user is going to be certified for a specific amount of time, and it's going to renew 1 year after that original date. So if a user becomes certified on January 1st, and on that year, they renew the course and they renew at December 15th, their renewal date is still going to be January 1st. That renewal date is not going to change. The relative with rolling period is going to allow that renewing date to change. So if a user becomes certified on January 1st and they take the training or they renew their training on December 15th, December 15th will become their new certification date. Are there any questions? Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah. To be honest,
Okay.
too many questions. So I'm going along as best I can. I don't know about the other guys.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of probably one of those things we'll jump into, and there'll probably be a lot of phone calls and emails back and forth with you, I'm sure.
More than happy to help in any way that I can. I know this is a lot, especially for an hour call and trying to cram all of this in, but we can have a call specific to certifications. I just wanted to introduce you to what certifications are. Renewal periods, and these can be a little bit complicated the way they're set up, and I would rather probably delve into this in the future whenever you're ready to actually start building certifications. But just to show you briefly, there is an initial period that we set. And there are 5 credits within this course, and I'm going to specify which sections of this certification are going to apply for the initial period. And then we set the renewal period. And we'll have 5 credits for this as well. And this is where we set how many days the user will when will user status become past due if requirements are not completed. We'll say 11 months for a 1-year certification. And then they will become expired after 1 year. So the way this is going to function, the user is going to remain certified for 11 months after they complete it. And then on that last month, they'll enter into a renewal period. And then they have 1 month to renew their certification. And then if they do not renew their certification after that month, then they will enter into an expired status. Emails say the same. Confirmation, this is just confirming the information that you just set up. I'm going to cancel out of this. And I want to delve into assignments. And first I want to cover certification management. This is how you would assign a certification. And also I want to point out, you can copy any training in the system. For example, these are all certifications that are set up in the system. So once we set up a certification on your platform that is the way you want it set up, then you can copy that certification. So you don't have to go through that entire setup process. All you would have to do if you're copying a certification is change the name and then change the training of that certification, the training that's associated in the structure. Certification management would be how we would assign a certification to a user. So there is this orange icon on the far right. All we would do is click the orange icon, choose assign, approve, assign and approve, and then we would select the, for example, I'll check a plant location here. Select Blue Earth Hydro, click next. It's going to list all the hydro users. If there are some users that I don't want to receive this certification, then I can uncheck them. And then click submit, and those users will be assigned to that certification. So that is specific to a certification. If you want to assign any other type of training, then you would use the Learning Assignment tool. A Learning Assignment tool is going to allow you to assign everything except for certifications. So I'm going to click Create Assignment. And I'll leave this set as standard, which means this is going to process one time. I'm going to add a name. And this name is something that's only going to be displayed on the Learning Assignment tool page. It's going to help you keep track of assignments that have already occurred. The training selection, if I click this button, it's going to open up the Select Training dialog, and then I can enter the courses that I want to assign to the users. And for provider, I'm going to select Martech Media. Actually, there's a Blue Earth Renewables, but I don't think we have anything set. Let me check. No, we do not have anything set. If we had, if I had built the curriculum and I set the provider Blue Earth Renewables, then that training would come up. But right now, I'm going to select Martech Media, apply filters, and then the Martech Media courses are showing up. If I select a course, it's going to appear on the selected tab, and I can go through here and I can search for other pieces of training. I can search for specific training types. If I just want to search for curriculum in the system, then I can select curriculum. So here I have 4 courses that are selected. I'm going to click select, and it's going to add that to the assignment. The nice thing about the learning assignment tool is you can save a draft. So if you start this and you're not really sure about what users are going to receive the training, or if you have to get on a call, you can save a draft of this assignment and come back to it later. I'll click next. And the training assignment workflow should be the only thing that you need to edit on this page. We want to assign, approve, and register. And this is going to automatically register the user into the training, and they will not have to request it. So if I had assign only, then a user, rather than having a launch button, they're going to have a request button. With the process start date, I can set this to start at a date in the future. For example, if I want September 1st at 11 a.m., then I can set this to occur then. Otherwise, by default, it's going to be set as soon as the assignment is submitted. Then I select my users, and I can select individual users by searching for their name. I can search for department. Let's say if I want everyone in the hydro department, I can select that, and we'll say solar as well. If we go to selected, we'll see that I have 1 user and 2 departments selected. If I click select, it will add those to the list. If I click generate initial user list, it's going to show the users that are in the assignment. And I can scroll through here, and I can also remove users. I can remove specific training from a user. One thing that's very important on this page is the assign new occurrence. Assign new occurrence is going to enroll the users into a new occurrence of the training. What that means is if a user completes a course, the only way that they can complete the course with a new completion date is if they receive a new occurrence of that training. So if a user completes a course on January 1st, and then they complete the course again on March 1st and June 1st, the February 1st is going to remain the completion date, no matter how many times they complete it, unless they receive a new occurrence assignment. Does that make sense? So last page is the confirmation page, where I can review the users that are receiving the assignment. I can review the training, and then click submit, and it will assign that training to the users. I'm going to cancel. It'll take me back to the learning assignment page, and we'll see all of the assignments that have occurred within the system. You should only see assignments that have occurred within Blue Earth. So I can also filter certain information. This is going back just the last 120 days. If I want to look at all the training that's occurred since January 1st, then I can select January 1st and click Apply Filters. So any questions before I get into reporting?
No, just following along.
Okay. Reports, there are many reports in the system. I'm just going to touch on a couple of reports. If there's anything that you need reported in the system, and you do not see it within the reports that I'm about to show you, please reach out to me. I can probably point you in the direction of another report, or I can build a custom report for you. Custom reporting is very powerful. I'll show you that page first. So if you came to this page and I had shared a report with you, then you would be able to open that report and, for example, you can print it to Excel. So depending on what your reporting needs are, if something does not meet the standard reports, if it doesn't meet that criteria, then let me know and I can probably get the report for you either in another standard report or in custom reports. So a couple of the reports that I want to show you are going to be under reports in standard reports, and they're going to be on the training tab. Certification details are going to allow you, whenever you start building certifications within the system, it's going to allow you to report on those certifications. So you could select the division, department, or plant location, the name of the certification, and then you would be able to print the data from that certification. So since we don't have any certifications in the system right now, then, or for Blue Earth, I'll hold off on doing anything with that. With regards to curriculum, if we click on curriculum, this will allow us to do the same thing. We'd search for, let's say, a plant location. I'll enter Blue Earth and Bull Creek, and I'll select the name of a curriculum. And we don't have any Blue Earth curricula in here right now. And this is the reason why I use the, I try to use the company title or division title whenever I'm naming something. It helps with searching rather than, for example, if you have power generation as a curriculum, we have over 4,000 users in the system and many administrators. So there could be a chance that another user might use the name of that curriculum. So we select the name of a curriculum, or we select the curriculum we want to report on, and then we can print that report, or we can export it to Excel. I'm going to find an example here for you. So I clicked, this is the detailed view, and I clicked printable version. And this is displaying a printable version of this report. You'll see that it has information about completed training for this user and then incomplete training. And it shows they've completed 24 or 12 out of 24 courses within this curriculum. This information can also be exported to Excel. If I want a summary view, I can click summary view, printable version, and it's going to list all of the users that are assigned this curriculum and then their percent completed. You see I have 2 users that have completed this certification, or this curriculum, I'm sorry. And the last report I want to show you is the enterprise training report. The enterprise training report is probably going to be more focused on individual courses rather than a curriculum or a certification. So if, for example, I want to see all the users that have completed personal protective equipment, I can search for that training. Add that training. And I also want to check include column for completion date. I'll click search. So this is showing all the users that have been registered and have completed this course 10101 since August 1st, 2017. We can also select a department. We can select a specific user. If we want to only see users that are registered for this training, then we can click registered and search again. And this is showing 30 users that are registered for the training, which means that they have not started this training. And I can also export this information to Excel. If we do not want to limit ourselves by a specific training, then we can delete that training option and add Blue Earth. Click search. And it looks like we do have 536 training items which have been assigned to users at Blue Earth. And if I want to look at users that are in a completed status, I can click search. And there are 101 items that have been completed. And if I export this to Excel, then this is the report that I just pulled. I can add a filter to this report, and I can organize the data as I wish. So that brings us to the end of the call. Are there any questions that I can answer? I know that this was a lot of information. Like I said, I am going to circle back around immediately after this call to make sure everyone has the correct administrator rights. So, are there any questions?
Are there any sort of how-to PDFs that you also have that kind of cover the same material you just covered now, just in case we forget something and then can refer to that?
Yes, I do have an administrator training PDF that I will send to you as well. One thing that I do want to show you is there are kind of walkthrough tutorials. Anytime that you see this Show Me button, that is a walkthrough tutorial. So if I click Show Me, create a learning assignment, click that, and it's going to tell me click the Create Assignment button, and this is going to walk through step by step the steps of creating an assignment. And these are going to be in various places within the learning management system. Usually whenever there are certain actions involved, such as building a curriculum. If I click Create a New Curriculum, actually, let me back up. Yeah, there's a Show Me button up here at the top. Create a new curriculum, and the Show Me button as well. So anytime you see Show Me, that is a walkthrough tutorial.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
Anything else?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Good here.